With a heavy heart, I must say that I've been getting threats made upon my life for my coverage of this entire situation, which is why we will be tripling down, ladies and gentlemen. We are going even harder. Donald Trump decided to make an announcement. We're going to stop funding sanctuary cities because we're trying to completely destroy the entire ideology behind sanctuary cities. The idea of sanctuary cities is unconstitutional, and it is inherently an insurrectionist plot. Today we're going to be looking at Tim Walz talking about how defending people that are trying to be, lawfully deported by ICE is as the same as trying to rescue Jews from the Holocaust. Pretty great analogy. Pretty great analogy, honestly. Drone striking Minnesota sounding more and more appealing every day, but hey, we don't need to go down that path just yet. All right, don't worry, guys. We're not going there. All right, we don't want some sort of war with Somalia. I hear they still use sharpened sticks over there. It's pretty dangerous. In other news, this leaked signal chat basically proved that this was an insurrection from the top down, and the entire Democrat government knew all about this. Different people from the signal chat that were in Tim Walz's Minnesota government are going to jail. People have already gotten arrested from this gigantic group chat leak because obviously civilian journalists leaked it. They invaded and leaked it, and it's not like the government could actually do anything themselves. Hasan, Piker, and Destiny are both telling their audiences to kill each other. I know you didn't see that one coming. And ICE basically obliterated the resistance in Minnesota, and it's only gonna get better from here. So lock in, we're tripling down, absolutely. Now, to all the people that are already screaming and yelling, but Nux, an innocent man died, my response is, actually a lot of innocent men died. They were killed by illegal aliens.
Additionally, starting February 1st, we're not making any payments to sanctuary cities or states having sanctuary cities.
That's my president.
They do everything possible to protect criminals at the expense
That's right.
of American citizens.
That's my president.
It breeds fraud and crime.
That's right.
And all of the other problems that come. So we're not making any payment to anybody that supports sanctuary cities.
Huge. And they're actually working in Congress to abolish the entire concept of sanctuary cities. Now, Tim Walz did not like this. He decided to go onto Twitter and make one of the greatest posts of all time. I'm not going to show it all to you because essentially his post was, while everyone fights against ICE agents and risks their life, I am going to be staying home and beating the shit out of my retarded son. So pay no attention to any of that while you all put your body on the line and act as my good little jihadi suicide bomber Karens to do your absolute best to commit suicide by cop. The more suicide by cops, the less investigation that gets done in my alleged involvement in an $18 billion fraud ring. So if you could please get as many leftists killed as possible, that's okay. I won't be losing votes. We'll replace you with Somalis. Just do as much as you possibly can. We'll replace the national food to bananas and rice, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, anyway, he gives this whole long dribbling speech. I'm not going to show it all to you. Personally, I don't believe in abusing my audience to that level. But this is a standout clip.
We have got children in Minnesota hiding in their houses, afraid to go outside.
Why? Why is that? You don't have that in Texas. You don't have that in Florida or in Arizona. You don't have that in any of the states that are actually working with the federal government to deport illegal aliens. It's, for some reason, you only have it in the one state that was exposed for billions of dollars of fraud that you are sending your suicidal kamikaze Karen libtards to kill themselves in front of ICE agents, for some sort of political points. That's the craziest shit in the world. All right, anyone that's afraid hiding in their attics, that's because of you. All right, it's not happening anywhere else. Anyway.
Many of us grew up reading that story of Anne Frank. Somebody's going to write that children's story about Minnesota.
Yeah, so Anne Frank, for those of you that are unaware, she was a little Jewish girl. She was 15. She wrote a whole diary about how the Nazis killed her whole family and stuff, and they eventually killed her. The diary was published by her father, who was the sole survivor of their entire family, after they were all killed, including Anne Frank herself, who was killed. You absolute bitch. If Anne Frank was offered $2,600 and a free flight out of Auschwitz, all right, she would have absolutely taken it, all right? How could you possibly compare this unless the stated goal is saying that the government, the federal government, as well as the ICE agents are actually Nazi soldiers, and therefore your army of retarded Karen NPCs kill them? Unless that's the goal, I don't know why you would say this.
And there's one person who can end this now.
He says Trump, but in actuality, it's him. He's the one that could end this now. You could turn yourself in, you could say, you know what, the fraud is, it's not worth it. Not worth sending my armies of militant suicidal Karens to their demise. I should actually just end it all. Not that type of end it all, obviously. That would be terrible, probably. But I could end it all, proverbially, and get myself arrested. And after he swings for treason, you know what I really want, personally? I personally want his little bald retard sign languaging exactly the final gurgling and spurgling that comes out of his mouth when they actually finally try him for treason. Before diving into the chaos, I wanted to tell you that 3,000 years ago, it was promised to me that this video would be sponsored by Free Cash. Free Cash is an app or website that lets you earn cash for free, which sounds like a scam, admittedly, but it actually is not. It has a 4.8 Trust Pilot rating with over 250,000 reviews, which is insane. Unlike other websites where you earn free cash, the cash out starts at $20 for a first-time withdrawal and a no-limit cap afterwards, where they will literally pay you to play video games, fill out surveys, and watch ads. I personally love playing the Daily Word once a day to wake up. They don't lock you into a corner either, because there are over 5,000 options of ways to earn cash for free. The payment system is also super convenient, paying out to your PayPal account or through gift cards or Bitcoin. There also is a referral feature, so you could literally just introduce your friends to Free Cash and you get a cut. My very DNA loves this brand, Free Cash. It sounds beautiful. And I'm so grateful to Free Cash for sponsoring this video, link in the description. Now back to the chaos. For straight up insurrecting against the United States of America, in my opinion. This is not me calling for violence. This is protected speech by the terms of service of YouTube, as well as by the First Amendment to the United States. I absolutely want this guy tried for treason, and if found guilty, I want him punished accordingly. The blood of these innocent retards that are committing suicide by cop is on his hands, in my opinion, because quite frankly, I am tired of making believe it isn't. I'm going Super Saiyan here. Every time I get a death threat, I double in my power level. It was exposed that there was this giant coordinated effort, including the government, that all got together, that literally mobilized an army of retards to impede law enforcement, to violate the Constitution, to fight against the government, and honestly, to fight against the mandate of the American people. Never forget that libtards like these idiots got 30 million illegal aliens to come into our country and steal it from under our feet by importing a voter class to forever put them in power, where not only does he do that, but also remains complicit, in my opinion, in billions of dollars of fraud to straight up steal our country. When the American people had enough and voted Donald Trump into office, quite literally to deport every single illegal alien, this person fought against democracy, all right, by militarizing his army of retards that he's using like little suicide bombers to throw wrenches in our democratic process. As far as I'm concerned, this is classic high treason. And I only ask for one thing. When he is tried for treason, we get his little bald retard to actually do the sign language. That's the only thing I want. Anyway, moving on. We have a lot to talk about. So, as you know, this is Alex Preddy. This is someone who committed suicide by cop. I already see people saying the cops were justified, weren't justified. Regardless, really is not the point right now. I'll tell you what was going through the cop's head. I actually have inside information on this, so I'll tell you what was going through the cop's head and what was going through Alex Preddy's head, because there's a lot of discussion whether he meant to kill him, whether the cop thought his life was in danger, so I'm going to explain it all to you right now. I know this is going to be controversial because a lot of people are going to disagree, but I have Jew mind reader abilities, so I utilized them to actually figure out what was going through both of their heads. What was going through the ICE agent's head was, I really want to go home to my family alive tonight. And what was going through Alex Preddy's head was a bullet. Because he so desperately wanted to fail the Darwin Awards to the point that he decided to dress himself up like some ragtag militia guy, get himself strapped up with a gun and multiple rounds of ammunition, multiple mags, join the public foray, obstruct ICE officers, tackle somebody, reach for his firearm, and die. Honestly, was it self-defense? Wasn't it self-defense? I made a previous video talking about my in-depth opinion on that. My opinion is, in a nutshell, we need an investigation, because I don't know if it was self-defense. I don't know. I really don't. What I do know is if this dude decided to actually not be a fascist and overthrow American democracy and try to be part of an insurrection against the government of the United States, he would still be alive today. So whatever blame you want to put on the officer that pulled the trigger, I feel like we have to discuss all the circumstances that got him there at that time. And in fact, despite the fact that the woke mob is literally lynching people in public over this, as I'm going to show you later in this video, they're biting the fingers off ICE agents, throwing bricks at their heads. I'm very excited to show you what we have here, because overnight there was an unbelievable amount of violence. You might think that the vast American public is absolutely losing their mind over this, but this played, and I thought it was incredible.
Alex Preddy.
All right, so they wanted a moment of silence for Alex Preddy at this game.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. There was no moment of silence for Alex Preddy. The world knows that this dude was a retard that could have been alive if he decided to not jump in front of an ICE agent's vehicle to obstruct them from arresting a pedophile. Died to Protect Pedophiles awards. It's truly unbelievable. Yeah, hockey fans not super interested in any of that. So this photo went super viral. This is over 100,000 likes. It's literally circulating everywhere. And I felt like it was important to show it to you. I have to show you the cold hard truths of America. Never forget this photo. This man was murdered by a criminal enterprise currently operating out of the White House. Unbelievable. Never forget this photo. And the head of the agent that shot him is nowhere to be found. This is AI, obviously. This is obviously not a photo. This is an AI-generated image. In fact, the fucking officer that's standing here is apparently missing his head. Yeah, so this is obviously AI. This is not a photo. It's AI. Obviously, duh. This got 8 million views, 130,000 likes already. Let's not understand that libtards are so brain dead they didn't even notice this motherfucker was missing his head. Pretty awesome stuff, honestly. They just don't see them as human. All right, everyone is posting this. It's the same picture. Oh my god, it's the same picture, the ultimate side-by-side of a guy who was murdered for literally just existing, all right? This guy was murdered for existing and being Jewish. This guy was murdered because he decided very, very desperately he wanted to commit suicide by cop. I just absolutely love how we can nitpick this to death, all right? So we have a cop without a head, all right? Here we have a guy on the ground holding a gun in one hand, all right? Just the photo itself is so obviously different, but also the circumstances are even more obviously different. They're literally hitting you with the Hitler drank water, and also Donald Trump drank water, so fascism is alive and well. They're really trying to hit you with this every single day. Hitler was nice to his dog. And Hasan Piker electrocutes his dog. Who was the real bad guy, huh? Anyway, so Donald Trump decided to make a couple of posts. During the 4 years of crooked Joe Biden, the Democrats' failed leadership, tens of millions of faggot illegal alien criminals poured into our country, including hundreds of thousands of convicted murderers, rapists, kidnappers, drug dealers, and terrorists. I won the election in a historic landslide, and the Republican won majorities in both the House and the Senate, in large part because we pledged to seal the border, which we have done, and launched the largest mass deportation of illegal alien criminals in American history. All right, so he did seal the border, but we're not deporting enough people. So quite literally, it's great he sealed the border. It's great we're at a net negative migration. We need more mass deportations. And if these people want to fight against the government, then just call an insurrection already, man. Do it. Do it, Orange Man. Come on. Be the orange Hitler that they so badly want you to be. Okay, all right, maybe, hold on. Whoa. Whoa, we're not that based yet here on the channel. We're not that was a joke. That was a joke, YouTube overlords. I was kidding. The deportation effort is underway, and Republican-run cities and states, these operations are going peacefully and smoothly because local law enforcement officers are allowed to work with their federal counterparts. For example, in the 5 Republican-run states, Texas, Georgia, Florida, Tennessee, and Louisiana, ICE has arrested 150,245 criminal illegal aliens over the past year with 0 protests, riots, or chaos. Why? Because local police and ICE are cooperating and working together. Wow, interesting. Wow, that's pretty crazy. Wow. Meanwhile, Democrat-run sanctuary cities and states refusing to operate with ICE, and they are actually encouraging left-wing agitators to unlawfully obstruct their operations to arrest the worst of the worst people. So arrest them! Arrest the agitators. Look, man, this is what I've been saying the whole time. ICE agents on rooftops with trank snipers. All right? Every time a lipdart wants to commit suicide by cop, he jumps in front of a car, whoop! You just immediately schmorgle him, and that's it. And you move on. No, don't kill him, God forbid, but trank him. Trank that asshole, all right? To save him. We're doing it for his own sake, okay? That's what I'm saying, bro. Arm the people with cattle prods. Anyone that doesn't move out of the way gets branded. That would be pretty diabolical. I don't know about that. Anyway, I'm still working out the kinks of my gigantic, awesome strategy. By doing this, Democrats are putting illegal alien criminals over tax-paying, law-abiding citizens. True, by the way. And they have created dangerous circumstances for everyone involved. True, by the way. Tragically, 2 American citizens have lost their lives as a result from Democrat-ensued chaos. Both of them were faggots, and neither of them, honestly, were very bright. I can't believe he included that at the end of his tweet. That's honestly crazy. So he made a second tweet, and this one's even better. All right. So this is the strongly worded letter we hear so much about. That is why I am calling on Governor Walz and faggot Mayor Frey, every Democrat, governor, and mayor in the United States of America, to finally cooperate with the Trump administration to enforce our nation's laws rather than resist and stoke the flames of division, chaos, and violence. Does he really think he can explain to them why, hey guys, I know you're insurrecting the country. Can you guys stop doing that, please? My guy, jail them, please. Call the Insurrection Act. What are we doing? It's gonna happen, by the way. He's prefacing. All right, every one of these tweets. All right, everyone's thinking to themselves, "It's not enough. It's not enough." Let me explain something to you. First of all, you're right. It's not enough. Second of all, I think this is the Donald Trump long plan. You're going to see, man. You're going to see. These tweets will age so well because when he eventually does call the Insurrection Act, which is going to happen, all right, this dude is going to be able to say, look how many times I warned them to stop insurrecting, all right? I am the good guy here. You're going to see, man. Benevolent overlord Donald J. Trumpanor is absolutely going to kick ass. You're going to see. I'm hoping. I'm an optimist. I'm also usually right, though, so that's good. Definitely subscribe. Governor Walz, Mayor Frey should turn over all illegal criminal aliens that are currently incarcerated in their state prisons and jails to the federal authorities, along with all illegal criminals with an active warrant or no criminal history for immediate deportation. That's super obvious. That needs to happen, obviously. Our taxpayer dollars are literally funding illegal alien rapists in jails in Minnesota. If that's not the most bullshit ass backwards society of all time, I don't know what is. These guys be like, we need socialism so we could give more food to the people. And then they turn around and spend millions of dollars funding rapists in prisons instead of deporting them. Absolute retards. State and local law enforcement must agree to turn over all illegal aliens arrested by local police. Local police must assist federal law enforcement in apprehending and detaining illegal aliens who are wanted for crimes. Again, I think it's super good that he's laying this out because he's going to be able to prove when he actually does call the Insurrection Act, he's going to be able to prove how they literally did not do a single one of these bullet points. 4. Democrat politicians must partner with federal government to protect American citizens in the rapid removal of criminal illegal aliens from our country. You know, that's why he won the election. You know, there's like elections and he won it because like the American people live in a constitutional republic and we voted for this guy and now he's here and now he's doing this thing. You know how like that all happened? I don't know if you got the news. Some Democrats at places like Memphis, Tennessee, Washington, D.C. have done so, resulting in safer streets for all. And in it, 20% decrease in murder, by the way, in the United States. For those of you that aren't aware, it's almost like arresting criminals lowers the murder rate or something. I don't know. That's crazy. In addition, I'm hereby calling on the United States Congress to immediately pass legislation to end sanctuary cities, which is the root cause of all these problems. I completely agree. There is no reason why we should have American cities that act as little sanctuary hotspots for insurrectionists and invaders. It makes absolutely no sense. American cities should be safe sanctuaries for law-abiding American citizens only, not illegal alien criminals who broke into our nation's laws. True. All of these requests are rooted in common sense and will provide the best possible circumstance to make America great again. He said the thing, guys. He said the thing. And the Trump administration is standing by and waiting for any Democrat to do the right thing. Dude, again, and none of them do. It's unbelievable. And work with us on these important matters of making America safe, like it is in all sections of our country where we are, together with local leadership, participating and involved. Donald J. Trump, President of the United States of America, thank you for your attention to this matter. You're going to see. You're going to see. You're going to see. All right? You don't have faith. Ye have little faith. Ye have little faith, man. Never forget, when the Israelites were in Egypt, God warned Pharaoh 10 times and brought 10 separate plagues before the final nail in the coffin, okay? I'm just saying, we look back at history and be like, well, Pharaoh had 10 chances, fuck that guy. And I feel like we are steadily moving through the ranks here. But anyway, keeps getting better, obviously. Hasan Piker saves Minneapolis one day at a time. Here, as you can see, he's dressed in his press vest and his little poofy communist hat as he marches. Don't worry, spoilers for later in the video. Destiny is literally telling his audience to go and kill this guy. I'm not kill this guy. That was hyperbole. To go and bully the shit out of him in public. So I'm gonna show you that later. Honestly, left on left violence is got to be my favorite thing. Two retards fighting, absolutely. Hell yeah, unbelievable. Now here's a pretty interesting graph. All right, I'm a guy that likes graphs, and I'm sure you like graphs too. We all like graphs here. We're right-wing autists are far superior to left-wing autists, okay? Left-wing autists like furry porn. Right-wing autists like graphs that are a little bit racist. So, as you can see on this graph, here is the deaths from ICE versus the deaths from illegal immigrants per year. Now, as you can see, there are a lot more deaths from illegal immigrants per year, but all these people with empathy, they only talk about this for some reason. And by some reason, I mean the government is literally trying to cover up $18 billion of fraud, so they're deciding to manipulate the retards into protesting and screaming about something, and literally getting them killed, so that they can do their absolute best to buff up the numbers here. And before anyone in my audience decides to figure out what per capita means. I don't know what per capita means in regards to different racial violence, but I do know what per capita means in regards to deaths from ICE versus deaths from illegals. All right, let me explain to you why it literally doesn't matter. Because one death from illegals is too much. I don't care if we are importing the most peaceful fuckers on the planet. If they kill one of us, I didn't want any of them. Per capita is completely not relevant here whatsoever. This is what the left is fighting for. This giant blue bar is what the left is fighting for, and the left is doing their best to stack as many bodies as they can to get the bars to equal out, but they never fucking will. The nurse on the left was murdered by an illegal immigrant. This is Laken Riley. She was raped and murdered by an illegal alien. The nurse on the right lost his life because he attacked ICE agents trying to arrest a violent criminal illegal immigrant who and resisted arrest while carrying a loaded gun. Guess which one? Guess which nurse the radical left calls a hero? Honestly, unbelievable. Now, I personally really don't want America to become London. That's been my my metric for what, like, the deportations. Are you aware that due to immigration policies, there was a rape every 54 minutes in London in 2025? That's not all of the United Kingdom. That's not all of England. That's London. That's one city. That is one city. All right? Just making sure we're understanding what's going on. So I think it's super important to understand what we're fighting for, because for so long, they're all trying to hit you with, like, this emotional blackmail.
I don't bluff, motherfucker.
All right, so this is Rachel Moore in 37, Bel Air, MD. Unbelievable. All right, this is Lauren Bump, stabbed 27 times. Samantha Daly, beaten and burned to death by illegal aliens. This is Kamala Williams, stalked and strangled by an illegal alien. This is Mendy Ferguson, killed in a crosswalk in a red light by an illegal alien. This is Noemi Dominguez, killed by an illegal alien. Casey Chadwick, stabbed by an illegal alien. Larisha Thompson, attempted robbery by 6 illegals, shot her while she was driving. She was Sarah Duran, T-boned by a drunk illegal with priors and 5 deportations. Don't worry. Kadriel Harris, she was killed. Monica Delgado, shot along with 2 children. Wow, on an illegal alien on a rampage. That's nice. Maris DiGiovanni, that's a crazy name, stabbed in the heart by an illegal alien with priors that they keep releasing into the public for some reason. This is Charisse Osmandohozic, stabbed 1 month before her wedding by an illegal alien on parole. Nice. Attacked and strangled Kim White Stout by an illegal alien. All right. We got Maura Garrett, 8-year-old girl, struck and killed by an illegal alien driver as she crossed the street. Yeah. So anyway, you know, everyone can sit and cry and scream and yell and make believe they care about this, whatever his name is, Alex, the nurse that decided to commit suicide by cop. But quite literally, he was out there obstructing justice, trying to stop ICE from deporting people like the ones that murdered all of these women. And this is just a very small example. I've been actually addicted to watching leftists cover this story because every single one of them tells the story from the moment the gun is fired until the moment that the Alex dude is killed. And they literally do not discuss any form of context whatsoever. Context is actual fucking cancer to leftists. Never forget. Not a single riot or protest or governor of Minnesota decided to take a moment for any of these people. Instead, they decided to take infinite amount of time to compare the random people in Minnesota to Anne Frank to weaponize their autists to attack ICE agents. Never forget. And every single person, all the midwits that are getting actually gaslighted by this story of this guy getting killed by this headless cop over here. All right, every single person, the midwits of the country that are getting gaslighted and emotionally blackmailed by this shit are weak fucking men. Yeah. I'm talking about lawyers that claim to be nonpartisan, objective lawyers that don't actually have any form of bias at all, crying on camera that a guy was killed suspiciously didn't make any videos about Irina Zarutska getting murdered on a train by a criminal who was released from prison dozens of times. I would think that a lawyer that's bipartisan, that would cover all forms of different content, would actually make a video on the justice system that lets repeat offenders out of jail again and again and again and again to murder random innocent people. In fact, he didn't make a video about a single illegal alien that murdered someone at all. Yeah, I don't know if you noticed, every death threat I go harder on my YouTube videos. Every time I get a death threat, I go triple as hard. Oh my god, unbelievable. So anyway, this is what rioters are justifying themselves doing because a retard died.
Get back! Get back! Get back!
Like they straight up pinned that guy on the ground and kicked his body while he was down.
Get back! What the fuck is wrong with your asshole? You motherfuckers!
Yeah, and by the way, also, these are not ICE, in case you were unaware. These are illiterate retards. Not just retards, but they're retards that can't read. They've all developed their cognitive abilities in Somali learning centers. Yeah, so they're just pinning them down, they're beating the shit out of them. But it's mostly peaceful, guys, it's mostly peaceful. Alright, so what about this?
Is everyone press?
We're over 90. We're all members of the press. We're all press here. Okay. This officer appears to be bleeding from the mouth. Oh my God. Are you okay?
I'm fine.
Are you okay?
I'm fine.
You look at his hands are all bloody.
He says he's all right. He's all right.
Where's the local PD?
Where's the local PD? Dude is literally being barricaded and surrounded by a swarm of rioters. Where's the local PD? Why aren't they actually upholding the law?
My question for the press.
Okay, this officer...
Where is the local PD?
What's your message to the local PD, sir?
No.
Okay.
Well, the mayor.
Well, where's the mayor? I wonder why if the mayor told them to stand down. I wonder if the mayor is literally telling local PD to stop all forms of violence, or not, rather, to not stop the forms of violence. It's almost like they want the violence. It's almost like they're more than happy to sacrifice their infinite retards to promote their political messaging.
Very chaotic.
Sir, while you're giving messages, what would your message to the protesters that want you out be?
An impromptu press conference with the...
As long as you're giving
No
comment,
comment.
do you have any comment
Please
to the
get
people that want you
back
out?
up. Back up.
officer said,
Look
Please,
at his hand covered in blood.
give me some room. It's
Poor guy, literally there alone, waiting for the local PD to part the mob. He's scared for his life. And quite literally, this is insanity. Insanity, bro. Complete craziness. Look at their hands. Look at his hands. Oh my God. Yeah, where's the local PD? These guys are literally getting beaten bloody on the streets. Like, this is the most insane radicalizing shit of all time. Like, these guys aren't the violent people. They're quite literally not the violent people. They quite literally are here to do the duty mandated by the American people when Trump was elected president. And these retards are beating the shit out of them.
you press
It's honestly unbelievable that only 2 of them committed suicide by cop.
or you press.
Like, look at his hands covered in blood.
Get back.
Stay back.
Get back.
Alright, look at this guy here in the distance. He just threw a brick at him. And he just hit him in the head with a brick. In my opinion, that's attempted murder. This guy needs to go to jail forever. Like, I don't even know, like, what we're talking about here. And now they're gonna try to arrest that guy. But they quite literally can't, because the actual press that is there acts as the human shields for the fucking rioters. Isn't that fascinating? Isn't that interesting? So the rioter will throw a brick at the head of a cop, and the cop can't chase him because there's a small little human shield of press that are just there with cameras that quite literally don't let them go after the people that try to kill them. Isn't that fascinating? Yeah, I think that's pretty fascinating, honestly. Pretty weird how this keeps happening. So, as you can see, they're breaking into windows, and Minneapolis PD stands around watching rioters smash windows, waiting for the local PD to show up. I mean, this is obvious vandalism, Right? Thou shalt not steal. I mean, you know, God came up with this in the 10 Commandments. Mayor Fry doesn't realize that shouldn't be super legal. What is this? All right, nice. He's wearing the Palestine thing because just like the Palestinians use suicide bombers and human shields. Whatever. I won't finish that sentence. Mostly peaceful, guys. This is like an obvious violent insurrection, by the way. Definitely more coordinated and violent than whatever Jan 6 was. So, this is a fat retard getting thrown to the ground and then crying. So, this is the fat retard. Right, he's literally standing in the road, obstructing ICE from doing their duty. There he goes. Tries to run, but he's fat as fuck. Oh boy. And with a Richter scale 6 earthquake, he collapses. Oh my god.
Get the fuck off me! That's my husband!
I have
done nothing at all!
No! Why would you arrest me when I was obstructing you from doing your job? Why would you move me out of the way? I am saying my name right now. Bro has full intention to die. All right, do you understand the level of mind virus these retards are going through? Dog, they literally switched gears. It's like 2 minutes ago, they all cared about like the woke trans shit. And then 2 minutes later, they they replaced the fucking neurochip in their brain with the new NPC talking points of Gaza. And then that obviously didn't work out super well. So they replaced that with the new talking points, which is, no, leave the rapist, pedophile, illegal aliens alone. And they are literally willing to die in a holy war. A holy war where they don't believe in God or anything, because quite literally, they don't actually have any sort of ethical, moral framework. Their moral framework is whatever the leftist media machine told them to be outraged about this time, and they're willing to die for it. If this isn't, like, the most cult behavior shit of all time, I don't know what is. Yeah, so anyway, fat retard getting thrown to the ground. Love that. I support it. All right. So now I thought this is important to mention. The Democrats are now using their tank unit. The Antifa tank unit actually showed up. So this is Trump's military. Our military, the United States military.
Oh, okay.
That much I do know.
That's crazy. And as you can see, right over here is the Antifa tank unit.
And
is a fat fuck on a wheelchair.
they're not here to. They're just here to like make sure that shit doesn't get crazy.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. See, that is the Antifa tank unit wheeling up and ready for combat. It's unbelievable. Now, take a look at this. St. Paul police turns around and literally lets an anti-ICE mob storms a Hilton hotel that has ICE agents in it. All right, so here we got the local police. And he just turns around. Quite literally. I don't know if you can see it or if I blocked it. Literally, look at this. The local police turns around and leaves. Quite literally turns around and leaves instead of honestly stopping it. A violent riot that is happening in front of their faces. Oh my god. How is this not an insurrection? This is what they turned away from, by the way. Mostly peaceful vandalism of a hotel. You know, because ICE agents are staying there. This is crazy, dude. Like, these people are savages. These are criminals, not protesters. Breaking news. Anti-ICE protester seen smashing sign. He's not a protester. He's a fucking terrorist. What are we doing? Literally, what are we doing? Now, something interesting that happened that I thought was pretty hilarious. The YouGov poll gives Border Patrol a 3% plus favorability after killing multiple leftists. Listen, I'm not trying to be rude here or anything. I don't know if it's true. I'm just saying it is pretty interesting that's a pretty interesting. You slime out a communist and all of a sudden the approval rating goes up. Again, not supporting the murder of leftists or anything. But if they're going to suicide by cop, it might as well help our approval numbers. That's what I have to say. And quite literally, the people that are fighting their absolute best to not be deported from America are here putting up spray painting signs saying, "Death to America, kill ICE." Yep, these are the people that so desperately don't want to get deported. Yep, Yep, vandalism, anti-America, that's where we're at. When Charlie Kirk was assassinated, none of this was happening, by the way. I don't know if you were aware. People went to vigils and prayers and churches. There was really none of this, actually. I think it's super important to talk about it. So I always find this hilarious. This is Dan Blazarian. He is one of those rare pro-Hitler people. Not a lot of those these days, but he is. That's pretty cool. An ICE agent executed an unarmed man. He was lawfully carrying and was shot in the back after being disarmed. I think it's pretty incredible. Hitler is right, motherfuckers, as soon as the government tries to do something about mass migration. Yeah, interesting. I wonder if maybe he just never really cared about Hitler, or maybe he was never like pro-Hitler. I don't know, maybe he was just like anti-Jews or something. That'd be pretty crazy. But anyway, Kristi Noem decides to release, in my opinion, an incredibly important statement.
And I want to switch gears to the other big story that you were right in the middle of. Federal officers have their hands full in Minnesota right now. One officer had his finger bitten clean off by an agitator yesterday. There are some pretty
yeah, I covered that in my previous video.
Photos of that online if anybody wants to look. Have you heard from any of the Democratic leadership in Minnesota about that? Tim Walz, Jacob Frey?
No, they haven't expressed any concern for injuries to our officers, and that's been going on for weeks. These are not just agitators anymore, they're violent protests. In fact, the state and the city of Minneapolis abandoned this area in downtown Minneapolis because they couldn't control the situation by the amount of people that have come in just trying to disrupt and impede law enforcement operations. And, you know, frankly, this didn't turn violent until we uncovered the fraud in Minneapolis.
So it wasn't violent until they discovered fraud. Well, that's a pretty interesting indicator, because why would American leftist communists decide to start suiciding by cop after all this? Unless they are literally NPCs that were programmed by the retard overlords to start committing suicide by cop in order to take heat off of the people that were part of the giant fraud scandal. That would be pretty weird.
We were there, ICE and CBP have been there and operating for years in Minneapolis. We saw the violence start to happen when the fraud became uncovered of the billions of dollars that was stolen from American taxpayers under the leadership of Governor Walz and Mayor Frey.
Interesting. Wow, what an interesting thing to say. That's wild. I don't understand. I don't know. Why is this whole thing happening? It's ICE, guys. It's ICE as they reach their hands into the giant Somali fraud bag, allegedly. So Barack Obungus decided to make a statement, which I'm not going to read because I honestly don't give a shit about what he has to say. He's one of the most irrelevant people in the country right now. You know, he came into America, he decided to become president, fuck our country, raw, and then decide to leave office where America's worse and become irrelevant. So he decided to make this statement. The killing of Alex Preddy is heartbreaking tragedy. I can't believe that this dude decided to commit suicide by cop. It's honestly heartbreaking. It should be a wake-up call for every American, regardless of party, that many of our core values as a nation are under assault. All right, so he gives this whole long spiel about how ICE is bad and Trump is bad and ICE is bad and Trump is bad. Now, that's pretty interesting, because this guy killed 67 people during his ICE years. All right? This guy is the deporter-in-chief. No one's deported people like Obungus. All right, this dude straight up deported millions of people, and 67 people were killed by ICE under his watch. No riots, no protests, and quite literally, he didn't care. Gaslighter-in-chief. Bill Clinton, who's currently under investigation for pedophile Epstein shit and refuses to testify in court, makes this whole long tweet as well. Over the course of a lifetime, we face a few moments where the decisions we make and the actions we take shape the history for years to come. This is one of them. Whole long thing. Minneapolis bad, ICE bad, ICE bad, Minneapolis bad. This motherfucker bombed an aspirin factory so that people wouldn't talk about him, okay? Is this you, Bill? Is this you? We remember, okay? We quite literally remember. You bombed an aspirin factory to take your bad decisions out of the headlines and sit this one out. Quite literally, shut the fuck up. It's unbelievable watching these gaslighters try to manipulate retards into thinking that somehow ICE deporting illegal aliens is bad. ICE killed a violent insurrectionist, because that's quite literally what he was. And these guys literally use this as talking points to tear up the Constitution. The gaslighting is just infinite with these idiots. So this guy says, I brought a gun to a protest today. I had multiple spare magazines, multiple interactions with law enforcement. I spent the day running around, getting videos of the protest. And you know why I didn't get shot? Because I'm not a communist scumbag and I didn't try attacking ICE officers. Wow! What? Is it that easy? Is it that easy to avoid getting killed by ICE? All you have to do is, like, not try to kill them? That's crazy. That's insanity. So, right, so this is a senator of the Democrats, John Fetterman, and he also is like, what is going on?
Absolutely unacceptable.
For the record, he is the Democratic senator that had a brain tumor, which is why he's the only normal one.
Terrible, awful. ICE agents are just doing their job, and I fully support that. And for me, and people in my party might, want to abolish it or treat them as criminals or anything. That's inappropriate and outrageous.
Yeah.
ICE performs an important job for our nation. Absolutely.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, it's pretty crazy how this keeps happening, isn't it? So anyway, I showed this yesterday, but it's super important because it ended up getting even worse. So Cam Higbee is a journalist that decided to infiltrate a gigantic Signal group chat. I covered this in more detail yesterday. If you want to watch my previous video on that, that's all good. But essentially, he exposed hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of people in these very organized Signal group chats where essentially they dox ICE agents and they get to work together. All the people get to, like, gay librarian gets to work together with all these other people about how to actually get them in trouble. And it turns out there were multiple people in the Democratic government that were part of this insurrection-y ICE group chat, including, for example, Minnesota Lieutenant Governor Penny Flanagan. So, interestingly enough, she seems like she was part of it, and she also made some pretty weird statements.
If you are sick and tired of your government being ransacked by Donald Trump and his minions...
He won an election democratically. Just call yourself a fascist and put the lip filler down.
Literally taking away...
Your face is half plastic.
...away healthcare from your neighbors, stealing food off of the table...
Yep, none of that is happening, but there is gigantic Somali fraud in Minnesota stealing billions of dollars of taxpayer dollars. I don't know if you heard the news.
From seniors and children, and generally being uncool with the fact that our neighbors are being disappeared. P.S. without due process.
Yeah, so this is a lie. There was due process. There is not an instance of anyone getting disappeared without due process. That's a lie, because these people think that due process means you need a court hearing with judges and juries and shit. Quite literally, that's not true. The due process to deport illegal aliens is to find out if they're an illegal alien. If they're an illegal alien, they get deported. No one's getting disappeared. They are being deported if they are found to be an illegal alien. That's the due process. That's the law. That's what Donald Trump was elected for, but she is a half-plastic insurrectionist bitch, so she doesn't literally care about any of that.
It's just called kidnapping. Then show up and use your voice. Put
your
body on the line.
Put your body on the line to fight for the rapists that are being deported by the government.
Use non-violent direct action, which is one of the most important tools in our toolbox.
Right.
To say.
So they say the buzzwords of non-violent, but they say put your body on the line. So that means stand in front of ICE officer driving, obstructing justice, and then when they try to move you out of the way, you struggle and get killed, like that other retard.
I am not okay. I will not go silently into the night. I will join arms with my friends, with my neighbors, and with people who generally believe that folks should be able to afford their lives, should be treated with dignity.
Yeah, that's why Trump is literally cutting all these taxes. Yep.
And as human beings, then we need to see you there. If you...
Right. So we need to see you there. Put your body on the line. All right. Now, people are dead for obstructing, interfering with ICE. All right. So people are dead. And here we have the Minnesota Lieutenant Governor Penny Flanagan telling people to put their body on the line. That's pretty weird. Pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. So anyway, I love the group chat leaks that are coming out after people invaded the Signal chat. The leaks are just insane. They keep hacking into our communities. What do we do now? And it's like, and we're just watching. All right. Because once again, to make it clear, our autists are way better than your autists. Our autists are infinitely superior. No, bananas and rice isn't good for the skin after all. That's crazy. And it's insane watching all these people get exposed. All right, so this is Orrin Chowdhury. All right, so this is the Ward 12 on the Minneapolis City Council. Orrin Chowdhury is part of this group chat. The expose here is so massive, it will, in my opinion, cause swaths of these people to go to jail for insurrection because quite literally they refuse to turn the temperature down, and I think Trump is waiting for the right moment to actually put his foot down and put these people in jail. I think he is. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe I'm being too optimistic, but I think it's happening. All right, so anyway, so this is James O'Keefe. He is a journalist saying, read the message we received. We know you're in Minneapolis. You're with O'Keefe and his crew of Nazis. You're in a white Ford license plate here from Florida. You have 1 hour to leave or you're dead. So people getting direct texts and death threats from these people, probably in these Signal chats. And then Twitter decides to double down. Fascist propagandist, that just means right-wing journalist, James O'Keefe is seeing what it looks like when a community rightfully defends itself against fascist grifters. Ah yes, threatening to murder innocent people is rightfully defending yourself. We know you believe that because we saw you celebrate when Charlie Kirk was killed. Your boos mean nothing. We've seen what makes you cheer. It's honestly incredible. So here's the libtards on Blue Sky absolutely crying about the fact that this signal chat was exposed. Urgent security alert, Minneapolis signal groups infiltrated. No, DHS ICE agents, undercover provocateurs successfully infiltrated the local signal groups. They're doxing members. No! You mean a gigantic group chat of libtard doxers that all decided to show up together? That these guys are now are coordinated, obstructing justice, trying to get mobs to attack ICE agents, and quite literally getting some of their own retards killed? I don't know if you checked the scoreboard, but currently it's ICE 0, libtards 2. And I mean that by counting casualties, so I'm just saying. They are currently doxing members, leaking group lists, using the coordinated tactics to frame peaceful observers as insurgents. I love how everyone thinks they're peaceful observers. Standing in front of ICE driving, that's a peaceful observer. Beating up an ICE agent, peaceful observer. Trying to run over an ICE agent with your car, peaceful observer. They all do the same shtick every single time, and it literally is not working. Quite literally, we are living in different realities at this point, and the reality that they're in, unfortunately, is made of cum and furries, as they all jerk off to performing more child sacrifices in the next abortion clinic. Our side, quite literally, just kind of wants our country to remain our country. But no, Nux, you're not allowed to say that. Palestine is for the Palestinians, Greenland is for the Greenlanders, and America is for the Somalis. Did you not get the news? Very cool, Leftoid. Thank you for your input. Appreciate it. Conservative operative Cam Higbee has been undercover in the group chat for days. He's publicly shared screen recordings. So people on Blue Sky are losing their mind. I'm already having people ask me what Blue Sky is. Blue Sky is a Twitter alternative, except it's for pedophiles. Pretty insane, pretty insane. You know, people elected a president to do a thing, and now the president's trying to do that thing, and now people are trying to fight back against the president that was elected to do the thing, and people are wondering why they're looked down upon and spat on as people. In exposing Signalgate, I literally saved the life of low IQ terrorists who were likely going to violently attack federal agents and get shot. You're welcome. True, true. We're saving them from themselves, guys. Yeah, a lot of people don't know this, but the best way to not get shot by ICE is not being a fucking retard. The second best way is by getting exposed by a right-wing guy as a fucking retard, and therefore you decide to not act fucking retarded. So quite literally, we are helping you guys. We really are. Every single leftist that you get arrested for committing a violent act or, you know, releasing violent threats or doxing ICE agents is one libtard saved from committing suicide by cop. I view my sacred duty of community service, exposing libtards, as quite literally the greatest gift I could give them. Their dad never loved them, probably because their mom got divorced or their mom married another woman. And because they have a dad-shaped hole in their heart, they have to replace it with some sort of propaganda where they feel like they're actually doing something useful, like dying for the cause of protecting an illegal alien pedophile. I will pray for you, and I will also do my best to get as many insurrectionists off the street, not for my safety, but for yours. Never forget that so far, there were 4 American citizens shot by ICE agents. 1 was armed with a shovel that attacked an ICE agent. 2 were literally trying to run over ICE agents with cars. And 1 of them was holding a loaded gun. I'm noticing that if you're not completely fucking retarded, your chances of surviving an encounter with ICE skyrockets dramatically. Anyway, so this is Tim Walz and his campaign strategist, Amanda Kohler, in the Signal chat, coordinating the doxing and harassment of ICE agents. Interesting. Many such cases, it seems. So, in the Signal chat, we ended up exposing all sorts of retards connected with the government, which is, in my opinion, grounds for, like, literally calling this coordinated planned insurrection, much more than January 6th ever was. This is Eric Martindale, a registered Florida nurse. All right, so this guy, Alex, that committed suicide by cop, he was also a nurse. So I'm really glad we're doing the nurse exposés. He says he won't give anesthesia for Republicans undergoing surgery, and he thinks it's right and ethical so that they could feel the pain of the surgeries without any form of anesthetic. I will not perform anesthesia for any surgeries and procedures for MAGA. It is my right. It is my ethical oath. What the fuck are you talking about? Quite literally, huh? And I stand by my education. I own all of my businesses, and I can refuse anyone. This dude is going to jail for a very, very long time. He is going to be losing a lot of lawsuits. Any right-wing guy that ever has any form of medical complication could fucking ream this guy over the coals in court. You know, This is like the classic leftist double standard, you know? It's like, I can't believe you killed one of our retards that tried to kill an ICE agent. This is unbelievable. It's fascism. We have to overthrow the government. And then you have all these guys literally celebrating the murder of literally any person on the right. Ashley Babbitt, Charlie Kirk, ICE agents that get shot at, they will literally support any of that. Donald Trump is at some point going to die, and leftists are going to celebrate. Joe Biden is going to die, and you know who's going to celebrate? Leftists, because apparently he didn't do enough in Gaza or some shit. It's almost like they're the death cult with the double standards of all time. Thank God they have double standards, or they'd have no standards at all. Anyway, so this is another retard. This is a librarian at County Public Libraries, which means us taxpayers pay for her salary. She's also fat as fuck. Very important to note that she is fat as fuck, in fact, because, you know, leftists come with another issue, which is the fact that they're usually ugly. Now, look, I'm not saying it's not all the time, all right? I'm not trying to profile people or anything, but if you're fat as fuck, you're usually a leftist. I'm sorry, I don't want to be that guy. Obviously, not everyone, but people on the right tend to believe in the whole concept of bettering yourself. And people on the left are like, no, actually, it's good that I'm slowly killing myself with ass cancer because I'm fat as fuck. Anyway, that's what you had to say.
People going, you can't say that. You can.
Holy shit!
I did. People going, you can't say.
Holy shit, she's fat. Anyway, so that's important. Big country, big country. So yeah, and you can't say that, referring to, you know, murdering people, seemingly calling to assassinate Trump. They all have like this funny code. They're like, someone has to do it. And they don't want to like actually say what it is, but we all know what it is, obviously. And she is charged with 1 count of domestic terrorist threats. She was arrested, ladies and gentlemen. We are going after people actually, you know, doing death threats against the government, which means Destiny is very likely next, as I showed in my video yesterday, my first video yesterday. These guys are literally going all out calling for death on their political opponents, and it's honestly insane. Now, the funny thing is, in this signal chat, people are freaking out so badly that they all got exposed. Dude, the level of cooked is unbelievable. What do we do now? Run where? I don't know. Out of the state. I'm leaving tonight. I don't know what's happening. We're in so much trouble. You know, because they're insurrecting against the government. Why would we be in trouble? Relax. Signal is not secure. I worked in communications. Once they figured out where we were, it's only a matter of time. Flan has been exposed. We're all fucked. We need to leave the state. Should I leave too? Maybe best get out of the country. I have contacts in Cuba. It was just a thought. Yes, communist Cuba. Have you been in contact with the others? Hopefully everyone knows how to get out. No, just logged in. Oh, okay. Anxious. Please help. We have to lock this down now. I can't find new links. Same. Oh my God. Pretty sure the FBI pulled up my neighbor's house. Stay safe, me too. They're literally fleeing the country. This is the most unbelievable shit of all time. Dude, honestly, nothing but the most respect ever for Cam Higbee for exposing this entire app. This is crazy, dude. Holy shit. Everyone's running out of the country because we're in so much trouble, guys. We have to flee the country for trying to insurrect against the government. Just absolute cinema. It's crazy watching these people flail around. So anyway, now that we know that these signal chats are definitely up to no good things and illegal things, this is a Colorado State Representative, Yara Zoke, Democrat, obviously, urging people to...
Fascist thugs do not get to fall back into working for our law enforcement after we abolish ICE, which ultimately is what we have to do, because there is...
Man, the 19th Amendment is one of the amendments of all time.
There is no reforming this.
How can you reform law enforcement? I mean, they are doing their job, and people are trying to kill them all the time, but like what are we going to do?
And so I ask you to take care of each other, to stand with us as we continue to push forward rights and resources for our community members. Know your rights. Know that an ICE agent cannot enter your home without a judicial warrant, which is a warrant signed by a judge. And know that we have a rapid response network. If you see ICE activity...
A rapid response network, you say?
The phone number is in the caption of this video, and you can call and report what you are seeing.
Coordinated insurrection. Interesting. Do these people not know the laws, or are they just that confident that leftists can never get punished because woke judges keep releasing them from prison? I wonder. Either way, it's not good, and it's not going to be good. So this is a gay transgender person, human, saying good morning as he mows down a bunch of, I guess, KKK members. But this is... Transgenders and everybody in the mass shooter allegations. Nah, it's not easy, bro. It's not easy. So anyway, Hasan Piker, this is my favorite little bit of drama. We have to save this one for the end because, quite honestly, this is the funniest shit in the world. So this is Hasan Piker on a protest. You know, he's wearing his Russian commie hat, his press vest to make sure that people realize that he's press and you're not allowed to kill him. And he's wearing his like keffiyeh over here because every cause is actually about Palestine. And this is what he had to say.
Honestly, a lot of Democrats like to say, "Oh, this kind of violence, police brutality would never happen if a Democrat was elected," and that's obviously not the case, considering that police violence never really stopped under the Democratic Party. I mean,
so the Democrats have issues with police violence just like the Republicans have issues with police violence. Because remember, Hasan Piker is actually just a Chinese asset that's also a radical Islamist that directly wants the overthrowing and destruction of the entire United States of America, and every single policy that he's ever pushed on his Twitch channel at all literally follows this exact train of thought. He directly wants the destruction of America, which is why he'll support every single enemy of America. He'll support the Islamist regime in Iran, massacring people there. He will support the Palestinians that are kidnapping or murdering innocent people that are allies of America. He'll support Hezbollah, who murdered 240 American Marines. He'll support cartel leaders. He'll support Maduro from Venezuela. He quite literally hates America. It doesn't matter if it's right or left, and he wants the destruction of America. So, with all that into perspective, he's saying the Democrats and Republicans are exactly the same in this regard. They're both evil.
Don't remember, but Black Lives Matter initially started at Ferguson.
Black Lives Matter was a gigantic scam, by the way.
And that was under Barack Obama. And at the time, a lot of Democrats were not very fond.
Well, they were right, because Black Lives Matter was quite literally a gigantic fraud scandal.
Black Lives Matter as a protest movement, as a street movement.
Right, so this is Hasan saying that the right and the left are both bad, all right? Now, the funny thing is, this is where we get into two retards fighting. Destiny, he's a leftist, but he's not a leftist like Hasan. He's a leftist, like, you know, a more classic middle-of-the-road leftist, which means he wants people on the right to die, of course, obviously. That's like classic. That's like every guy on the left these days, it seems. Probably not, but just a lot of them. But he also hates the communist people that are quite literally destroying the leftist party. So this is awesome. This is the retard-on-retard violence we love, right? We got more center-left guy versus radical-left guy, and it's incredible.
Straight up saying, if Dan wants to do something useful and still be a Hasan hater, he should create a Track Hasan X account that posts his current location when he's out at protests.
So this is Hasan reading out a message that Destiny posted, that he wants someone to that Destiny wants someone to make a live Hasan tracker so that people could bully him in public.
Location should be publicly available at all times while he's live streaming. This is him at his cult.
I just want to clarify what I was saying here.
All right, so here Destiny clarifies it.
Sounds like it sounds like I'm saying that his like live location or whatever should be broadcast or whatever was at protest. That is
that is what it sounds like. So what did he actually mean?
Exactly what I'm saying. And
that is what he's saying.
Should be, and he should be bullied. People should scream at him and shout at him and bully him the fuck out of any left-leaning protest that you see. The CCP paid agitator fuck should never be in any Democratic liberal protest ever. If he wants to go hang out with the disgusting, smelly...
Absolute cinema, dude. Like, do nothing, win. The Nux Doctrine remains undefeated.
Fat fucking losers, the tanky fucks or whatever, he can go hang out with those fucking losers. That's absolutely fine. But until he has made a public statement that fully accounts for how he was compensated by the Chinese Communist Party for his little fucking paid vacation trip with him and the rest of his little streamer fucks to China, until he has publicly announced and addressed that and talked about it, I have no idea why the fuck you would want this guy anywhere near any of your liberal protests.
True.
Absolutely fucking out. One of the hugest issues that this country has right now is all of the foreign interference that is just happening openly on all of our social media platforms.
God, we just literally have leftists threatening to kill each other on stream. You're blackpilling, and leftists are killing each other, and you're blackpilling. That was a joke. That was obviously a joke. But you're blackpilling, bro. They're literally calling other audiences to slime each other out, and you're blackpilling?
By the same countries that paid this fucking...
I do not support any form of political violence at all, actually, though, just to be clear. But these guys do.
Loser to go and do a shill who couldn't even go through with it. He couldn't even...
Right, so Destiny, who celebrated the murder of Charlie Kirk and the assassination attempt on Donald Trump, who constantly tweets stuff like someone has to do it regarding killing Donald Trump and Stephen Miller and stuff. Then you got Hasan Piker, who also did all those things, but also supports terrorist organizations and all that shit. Like, quite literally, these guys going at each other. God, I want to take this moment and dedicate it to you. You are truly the GOAT.
even let the guy rape his neck, okay, at the stupid chiropractic place because he knew how bullshit the stuff that he was promoting was. But he was getting paid too much, compensated too much by the Chinese government to say no, okay? So fuck this guy. Fuck letting him anywhere near your protest. If you want to go hang out with Republicans, go to the dangerous places and get shot, motherfucker. Okay, all of us will clap for you, I promise. All right?
Go get shot and we will all clap for you, says Destiny.
Right, go to the Republican places, go to the edgy places, go hang out with tankies or whatever, but stay the fuck away from liberal protests.
Oh my god, it's incredible. Like, it's literally the best thing ever. Like, these people are actually fucking tearing each other apart. All for my entertainment. The moderate left hates that the radical left is tearing them to shreds. The radical left hates that the moderate left isn't radical enough. Oh my god, this is the civil war I've dreamed of. It quite literally does not get any better than this. Anyway, so there are these guys screaming about killing each other, and that's awesome. Here we got another leftist TikToker. He doesn't get involved in this specific drama, but he also has one of the worst takes of all time, so I felt like we had to include it.
I know what would make most sense in that context. Either you learn the language, right, of the area where most people are speaking that language, right, or you decide to go to a different area where people speak the same language as you.
So this is Parker, one of the largest leftist TikTokers, and his opinion is if you move to Minnesota, you have to learn to speak Somali because it's the dominant language there. What? He doesn't think any immigrants that immigrate to America should learn English, but he thinks that Americans that speak English need to learn the languages of Somali enclaves that are being imported by retards. Unbelievable.
That's your choice.
Wait, did you say I should do that or what?
Either learn the language or go to an
majority, like what they're doing here. We majority speak English, and they should come and learn our language.
Yeah, so he's debating someone, and the guy's like, but why shouldn't they learn our language? Why should we need to learn their language?
No, you're not understanding. There are different areas in the country that disproportionately speak different languages.
Yeah, because we bring them in, and they refuse to assimilate, and then he's saying we need to assimilate to them.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay. And in those communities, it would make sense to speak those languages. Right?
Dude is unironically saying, how dare you say that Somalis should learn English? We should all learn Somali. Unbelievable. Mehdi Hassan's a journalist that posted this. Don't know whether to laugh or cry at a tweet of graffiti saying, Ayatollah, please save us. Basically, he thinks it's funny that Americans are asking Islamic terrorists to bomb us. But what's even funnier is this journalist is so retarded he didn't realize this is actually a post from Iran, where Iranians that are getting massacred are saying, President Trump, please save us. Ultimately, it all comes down to a pretty diabolical conclusion. Leftist politicians are telling leftist civilians to get themselves killed for propaganda. Leftist civilians are getting themselves killed for propaganda. Leftist influencers are telling their audiences to kill other leftist influencers. President Trump is cutting funding and also trying to abolish sanctuary cities. And leftist politicians were caught literally with their pants down as part of a very organized insurrection against the United States of America. Leftists are actually, while they're talking big and making believe that they're all big and strong and fighting back, they are sweating harder than Candace Owens when she's trying to read. They are fucking around a lot, and I don't think they realize that God has a divine sense of humor, and they are going to find out. Like, subscribe, and this video was streamed live on kick.com/Nuxanor. See you there. Stay weird, fam.